Hello everyone, this is Jack from Hatchetjack. A while ago I started making stainless steel knives, and I made one for myself, which I really like to use. But the thing about stainless steel knives is if you have a leather sheath, you're not really getting any of the benefits of the stainless steel. For instance, I had my ABL knife in a leather sheath, and I took it hiking in the rain, and when I got back, the blade had rust on it. Because if you keep a knife, even a stainless steel knife, in a wet sheath for long enough, it will rust. Granted, it was only in there for like a day. If you had a better steel, it would probably last a little longer, but still, it'll get rusty eventually, and you don't really want to have to deal with that, you know? It's stainless steel. You shouldn't have to worry about it. You pay an extra for a nice steel that's stainless, and then it's getting stained. The solution is kydex, which is this little material here. A lot of people don't like it, say it looks like plastic. I actually really like it, specifically for stainless steel, because the kydex is, unlike leather, perfectly fine in water and salt water and pretty much anything else. You'd have to, I don't know, drop a nuke on the sheath to break it. It's also good because it has a lot more retention than leather, and you don't have to make some weird goofy strap to keep it in place. It just retains the blade, which is super nice. Now you do have to have a little bit of practice in order to make it work, but overall it costs less and takes less time than a leather sheath to make, which is super nice. I myself am probably going to be switching over to kydex for the most part. I'll still definitely give my customers the option to have a leather sheath, which I recommend you do too, because a lot of people do want that leather sheath feel, and I do too. But for the most part, I am going to be wearing kydex on my EDC, and at least for the micarta handle knives, selling them with a kydex sheath. Now the reason I might not do it with wooden sheaths is because I've heard rumors that it could scratch the wood on the handle. I haven't confirmed these or not. I'd have to do some testing, but I don't really want to risk it at first, at least. Now a common misconception about kydex is that if it gets too cold, it can crack or shatter. Well, this is true. You'd have to be around -40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not very common. So your normal like -20, -15 if you live in a cold area would not break it. I don't even live in a cold area though, so for me it doesn't even matter. But if you are taking it into the snow, you don't really need to worry about it unless you're going to be in extremely cold weather. But the same is also true for leather. Since it has moisture in it, it can also form ice and then crack the leather if you bring it in super cold areas. So it's not really a place where leather has the edge. The one spot where I would choose leather over kydex though is if you're going to be carrying your knife in public, because the thing is, kydex looks a lot scarier than a leather sheath. I mean, if you're in public, you probably shouldn't have a knife to begin with, or at least it should be hidden a little bit. But if you have to openly carry a knife in public, a leather sheath is going to be a lot safer than a kydex sheath because it looks a lot less intimidating and people are less likely to freak out, because some people get freaked out over knives. I know. Another thing that could happen is your knife could dull on the kydex. Since it is a very strong material, it could actually scratch up the blade, but I haven't had too many issues with this. It normally doesn't do that. And leather also dulls the blade over time with the added risk of accidentally cutting open your sheath. So I wouldn't really consider that a serious edge. You just have to be careful with how you're taking your knife in and out of its sheath. Normally the way a knife sits in the sheath, the blade itself isn't touching into the kydex, but if you're pulling it out in a weird way, you could definitely scratch the blade, and that could lead to bad edge retention. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you're a knife collector or whatever and you're interested in this knife, I'll have it linked in my Etsy shop below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.